Hi, it's Kevin Markman. Welcome back to Relationship Ready Talks. Today, we're going to talk to our guest. Welcome, David Reese.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you very much for coming, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, I'm just going to be, I'm basically I'm a barber who does stand up. I'm not going to say my age, but I'm old enough to have grown kids.
Okay.
Which is probably, most people don't expect that, but you know, is genetically, you know, I'm just,
that's part of it. You're looking good.
Better than most people.
All right.
I'll just leave it at that. That's a nice way I can say.
It's a nice introduction to you in the world of Relationship Ready. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And so today we're going to talk about a relationship. So tell us from the beginning, how did this relationship start?
Our relationship or just a relationship?
The relationship you would like to talk about today.
Okay. So I had a relationship where I started as friends.
Okay.
Right? And I didn't expect it. So I was like, okay. And I warn people on this because you have to be careful because, you know, friends are harder to lose. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Than a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I met somebody. We became friends. I wasn't really...
Okay, where did you meet? And
I met at a bar.
Met at a bar. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And started off
we
talking,
having fun.
chatting,
we chat. We meet at the bar every night.
Okay.
And then it turned out with us, you know, just having sex one night randomly, you know, in the neighborhood. Okay.
So you started off chatting, talking, connecting.
I would see her
each other at the same bar.
I would see her every day, and she would wave at me.
Okay.
This is how it started, literally. Right. And so she goes to the bar near where I work at, and I would see her, she would see me, and after a while she would pull up, and after a while it was obvious that she would like park her car where she sees me all the time. She'd wave at me, and then she would go into the bar, and that's how we met.
Okay.
And then after a while I started seeking her, like, oh, that's some good energy.
So you would go into the bar.
And then we met.
And you met.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then after you'd done it a few times and talked, then you had sex in the neighborhood.
Right. After about, I say maybe it's about good 3 weeks. Maybe 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a good 3 weeks before we had sex.
And you had conversations that were good?
Yeah, we were shaking shots, and you know, she would tell me, she's a white girl, and she would tell me about how she, you know, her first black guy crush was Michael Jackson.
Yeah. And you reminded her a little bit like that?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But now I found out later that she tells every black guy that.
Okay. All right. So, but that's what drew you in.
But hey, it got my attention.
Got your
attention. I was like, hey, I like Michael Jackson.
All right. And how did it shift from the conversations to the 3 weeks, then it went to sex? What went from conversations to sex? How did that go?
I was basically on the latter end of, the early end of my 40s. Okay. And in the early end of my 40s, I wanted to have sex with every woman that I met.
Okay.
I was really on a mission.
So you were on a mission.
I was on a mission. I'm not going to mission.
And she was in your line of fire.
She was in my line of fire.
Okay.
And we had sex. And it was the bomb. And it was very spontaneous. And I love spontaneity.
Okay. So that's what attracted you. Spontaneity. Mm-hmm. She was open.
Yeah.
You were open. You were ready.
Friends. We talk a lot. Like I said, we built up the rapport with each other, and we talked. And, you know, we had mutual things that we liked, and you know, and then we kind of just evolved from there.
Okay, so that was the 3 weeks in the sex in the neighborhood. What was the sex in the neighborhood? Like you went somewhere in the neighborhood? You went somewhere? Where
we went back to my barbershop and we had sex on the floor, which is awesome. Floor sex is the bomb. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, good. And you clean up after, so it's not. You're not
maybe. I cleaned up as best as I could because we're drunk, and you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You feel bad the next day when you come and you turn the lights on because you're looking around for evidence from the night before.
But it did not end then. It continued.
It continued.
Okay, so tell me what continued.
What continued was the spontaneous. And this is why I tell people, you know, about relationships. You got to keep that element spontaneity is important. You know, everybody wants that. You know, you can't just watch people on, you know, porn or, you know, or on movies and they're having all the spontaneous stuff going down. Everybody yearns for that. You know, so I did like that about her the most. Okay. We had a lot of, you know.
So that was a quality she liked.
Mm-hmm. And I liked it.
And you liked.
Yeah, we were very
What were other qualities? Or was that what brought you together?
I think that's what brought us together, just the spontaneity.
Okay.
Yeah, I really did. It made us, because everybody, it's like the, I don't know, you ever seen a shooting star, or, you know, it's like, it doesn't happen often. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
so it felt different than the regular.
Yeah.
It's not the regular, it's not the norm.
No, because people talk, we exchange numbers, you meet up, the next, you might go out, have dinner, you might talk on the phone, you might exchange some social media messages, but I'm talking about, but just that explosion where two people, you know.
Okay. So this was an intensity thing. It built up for 3 weeks and then exploded.
Yeah, it absolutely wasn't
sex. And then after, did the spontaneity stay? Did it continue? Did you build in different relationships?
It continued
what
for about 5 years.
5 years of spontaneity. That's a long time for spontaneity.
But, okay, so to have spontaneity for 5 years, you know, you almost have to be open to bringing other people around, because that energy is attractive and magnetic. So, you know, people are going to come around. They, you know, you're the center. So me and her, we were like the sun, and then people want to come around. They want to be spontaneous too. And it's like we built a whole friend base on, you know, everything just, you know, whatever happens, happens. And, you know, we have these fun nights where everybody's kind of like just doing what they want to do and stuff like that. And we were like the center of that.
So you and her were having a good time and then attracting others to the energy.
Oh, we made so many friends. It was crazy.
Okay, made friends based on that. But then you had a knowledge or a commitment, or how did you know that you were continuing to be in this relationship?
So, to be honest, the first time that... So it was another woman in the mix.
Okay,
right?
Tell me about that. How did that work?
Smoking hot architect, mid-30s.
Okay.
Who also I met around the same time. Okay.
All right. And
so
she knew her also, or
she did.
Okay. So they were friends, or no?
No, I wouldn't say they were friends, but we all gravitated toward each other around the same time.
So you all had the same energy,
spontaneity. And she would hang out all the time with us, and we'd be buying drinks, and we'd all be dancing together. Sometimes we might even, you know, hug or kiss together, you know, whatever.
Okay.
It was very interesting and exciting. But then what happened was, one night, the deciding night was, one night the girl who was the architect, she was going to buy drinks. Okay. And me and the other girl were like hugging and dancing. And she came over, she's like, hey, I'm getting ready to go to the bar and I'm going to buy some drinks. Do you want one? And she was talking to me. And the other girl intervened, was like, no, he don't need no more drinks. He's okay.
Okay.
And I
so she set a limit. Yeah,
I thought she was rude to her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And that was the first time.
Yeah, and I talked to her about it. And then she got all sensitive and got teary-eyed. And was like, you know, she doesn't have to buy you drinks. I'll buy you drinks and da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? And I like you. And she kind of, you know, at that moment kind of expressed her true feelings for me. And then I liked the fact that she kind of stepped up. And then that led to the relationship. And I really stopped really dealing with the other girl.
So she stepped up and kind of claimed you because she caught feelings.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's when she declared her feelings, was when the other one, the architect, went, oh, I'm buying drinks for you.
Right, right. Well, she buys drinks for all of us.
Okay.
Right.
But she was claiming territory.
Yeah, right. She
claimed territory. And you felt what at the time? What were your feelings?
I felt flattered.
Okay. And how were you feeling about her?
Okay, so at that point, that's the part of me I have to control, because I like saving women.
Okay, tell me about that. What does that mean?
I saw her as a woman who was kind of out here, and she really didn't want to be out there like that. She was lonely, and I thought I could take her out of that world.
Into what world?
Where you feel cared about, and you got a guy who, you know, cares about you and spending time with you and giving you attention in front of people.
Okay.
You know.
So the public and the personal,
right,
of connecting, give you some security, you can count on you. Mm-hmm. That's how you were saving.
Yeah, not for her, not for just her, just for me too. Actually, it felt good.
Okay.
And we became the best of friends. You know, we were the couple that everybody wanted to be, you know, for a while.
And what happened to the architect after she declared?
She faded into the distance.
Okay. And she still had feelings, or she was just in the spontaneity?
You know what? Once she realized what was going on with me and her, she kind of just faded away.
And was that night, or did it take longer than that?
So we had a conversation, me and the girl who was the architect, and like weeks after, and me and her were friends, and we were still friends, but she told me that she thought that the other girl really liked me, and she said Specifically, she said, I felt like that night she wanted to fight me.
Okay. And did you feel like that was true too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so was the architect claiming feelings for you at that time
too? She kind of did. And she told me that, you know, that girl wanted to fight me. Wanted to fight me. And in that mind, I took it as her wanting to fight her as, you know, she's the winner.
Okay. So she deferred to the other girl? Or she fought with you and said, hey, pick me, or no?
No, she pretty much kind of just, you know.
And backed off?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were okay with that? Or you had feelings about this other
I was and I wasn't at the same time. You know, but I kind of just decided, because I'm usually going to gravitate to where the energy is. And I kind of just went over, I chose to, you know, hang out with the other.
And the energy was more about what?
The girl who wanted to fight for me, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right. And that declared something for you. It meant something to you.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that felt good.
It felt really good.
Okay.
Yeah, it felt really good. And I just, I've always been like that, to be honest with you. I've always gravitated to women who kind of made it obvious that they want to be with me.
Okay.
You know, the ones who kind of like,
important.
I like to feel important.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say that. I like to feel important.
And demonstrating those feelings to you
up front.
You're important up front.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when there's options and you're like, oh, this one.
Yeah, and that's that she stepped up. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like, you know, for someone to put their, you know, it's like, hey, she put her head on the guillotine. It's like, hey.
And took the risk.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was worth the risk to you, and it paid off because you continued for.
I don't know if it paid off.
Or no?
We broke up, and it wasn't necessarily her fault, but we did break up.
Well, I want you to get to that. But what happened between when she chose you, you chose her, this other one backed off, and then what happened from there? Next?
It was awesome energy, parties, trips, you know, limo rides with friends to the wineries. You know, we were like the center.
So you were in a relationship?
Oh, we were in a full-blown relationship. We were just pulling everybody in with us, and we were just having fun. And you know, we would drink. We were drinking a lot.
Okay.
Now that's the part of it that we don't talk about, because I met her when I was drinking.
Okay.
You know, and
then continue doing that.
In our whole relationship, we were drinking.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Did that help you feel closer or make you feel farther apart?
Drinking makes you feel closer.
Okay.
It's a fake closer.
And what do you mean by fake?
You know, I didn't realize until afterwards, because we were just literally, I don't know, it's almost feel like, you know, you're going with the flow. You know, the tide's moving, and you kind of just, you know, it's like, okay, to be totally honest, it was times where I looked at her when I was sober, and I'd be like, what am I doing with her?
Oh, okay.
Like I said, because the hot accounting girl was, you know, I was always in the middle. I was like, okay, she's nice person, we're friends, but sometimes when I'm not sober, I'm like, we'll look at her and like, what am I doing with her?
And when you were sober, you were like, what's the whole package? I got the intimacy,
she's
I got
nice,
the nice person,
friends.
I got the relationship, we have the fun, we have the energy,
right?
But I also have the desire for something else.
But she would get hotter as I drank.
Okay, all right.
And that's pretty much for women in general with me. Women get hotter the more I drink.
Okay. All right.
And I have to acknowledge that, because, you know, it makes me, sometimes my decisions are based on that. It's not always the best.
Okay. But you were still choosing to be with her even when you saw her when you were sober.
We were best friends, and I love that.
Because you reached the best friends stage.
I love being best friends. It's just way better than hot.
Okay.
Best friends and then hot.
Okay. And then that stayed for how long were you best friends?
5 years.
For 5 years.
Yeah.
So there was a 5-year relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Spending lots of time together.
Right.
Okay. With other people too?
Friends, everybody was applauding us. We were the couple that everybody wanted to be.
Okay. And that felt good?
And it felt great.
Okay. So you had reached a point you enjoyed, and then that lasted 5 years, and then what happened?
I got a new cell phone, right? Okay. And then I gave her my old cell phone. And my old cell phone had a picture of me, messages and pictures of me and this old girl that I used to deal with. And I sent her a pic, and she would send me pictures of her body naked. And I gave her the phone, and somehow she found the deleted files and pulled those out.
Because they were still on the phone.
They were still on her phone.
So, and that was part of your relationship, or that
Dude,
before?
It totally tore our relationship down. She called the girl, and the girl told her, hey, you know, Dave is a good guy. You know, she's like, hey, I'm gonna tell you, if I was you, I'd keep him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I can't.
So she was supporting you.
Yeah, I can't say that. Right, I can't say that if he wants to still mess with me, I wouldn't do it. She said, but if I was you, I would keep him.
Okay.
And then I think the whole idea of it just kind of just dismantled our relationship slowly but surely.
Did you have a committed relationship, or you never talked about it?
And then the other thing, she had a friend who broke up with her girlfriend. These were women who were in a relationship, and one of her women friends broke up with her wife during that time. And I think I was like a casualty of war.
Okay. Because why?
Because I had and I was hanging with a bunch of girls who were like, they were lesbians.
So they were like, we're into breaking up. Let's support each other, not David.
Okay.
Or what?
If I'm giving it to you straight. So the one chick who was our friend, she was our friend too, and she was married to a lady, and it was this dude who hung around us. You know, he was like Fabio. He had long hair, Italian dude, he's slick as a motherfucker, right? Okay. So somehow he wormed his way into my world, which I'm saying with.
Because the energy and
straight girls and lesbian girls, and we all hanging out, just roll with these girls everywhere. We just go everywhere.
Okay, so this was your.
I look up and he's hanging around, and I'm like, okay, I'm happy to see him here because I'm the only dude usually, right? So this dude, slick Fabio dude with the long hair, Italian dude, he's dancing with the girl who's married to my lady's friend.
Okay.
They're lesbians and they're married.
Okay.
But we used to go out all the time dancing. So one night we're at a bar. And I saw them dancing, and he was dancing with her, and he was like really grinding on her, on the girl's wife. This was my lady's friend, her wife.
Yeah.
And I was like, and she's gorgeous. But so my last one lady, I said, man, I don't know. I said, they were like dancing kind of hard together, you know. And she was like, what? She was like, nah, he's gay. And I was like, nah, gay dudes don't
grind on that.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I was the first person to say it.
So you questioned that?
Yeah, because I was like, okay, he's in the mix, and I'm happy for him, but I was like, I'm questioning that he's not just hanging around because he wants to, do sleepovers with the girls. So then him and the other lady start hanging out on their own. Boom, boom, boom. It turns out she disappears for a couple of nights, and she's screwing him. And it comes out, and then so her and the other friend, her and her wife broke up. My lady is the best friend of this couple, and the next thing you know, now I'm in the mix. Now, now I'm on the radar because they're like, okay, they're all f***ing each other.
Oh, so that was the question. Right. That you went to your phone and went, oh, there's this other person. I thought we were committed.
Yeah.
Called you out on it. And what was your response?
I remember admitting to it, but I kind of blew it off like it was no thing. And now that I look at it after the fact, it's like, okay, if I went through a lady's phone who I'm seeing I love, and she had a picture of a guy's in her phone, I would be hurt.
Okay. All right.
But
so
I
could understand the hurt.
But I was very nonchalant about it at the time. Okay. I'm not going to lie, but that was selfish.
So is that what ended it, or how did it end?
Because I think that it was no turning back. Because one time she came to talk to me about it, and we got to a big argument. And then I'm not going to even lie, like I just literally just like I pushed her, and I was like, yo, this is not going to fucking work. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck is this, where this is going.
So she was coming all up at you.
Yeah. Okay. And she was like starting a lot of trouble, you know what I'm saying? And then one night, and I'll be totally honest, one night this dude, one of my friends came to me and told me, say, I seen your girl at a bar with a dude.
And this was still your girl at the time?
Boom.
Okay.
And that's what kind of...
So her response to finding the pictures was she distanced herself.
Yeah. She
went out, was with a guy somewhere, got in an argument with you.
Right.
You backed her off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, is that when it ended, or how did it end?
That's pretty much how it ended, because after that, we just never got it back together after that.
So did you talk, or did you not talk?
We didn't talk till 6 years later, to be honest with you.
Okay. So you were upset, she was upset, and you just distanced?
No, we were at war. Like, every time I see her, she see me, we just could not be in the same place.
Okay.
And it's going to be a big deal, and everybody, is going to know that, because we were almost like viral at that point. So everybody, so they see me and her in the same room, everybody wants to see what we're going to do.
So as close as the energy was coming together in Spontaneity, bringing people in, that was as intense as it was people backing off.
And it was a total
opposite. Because it was so intense, and you were like, are you together? Are you not together, but you're fighting, and you're not supposed to be.
And people getting in the mix, and hey, nothing against, again, white people in general have a hard time minding their business.
Okay. Not just her, other white people?
No, her friends were all in our business, and I never experienced nothing like that before. Because black people, when they do a breakup, it's different.
Okay, what's the difference?
We kind of try to stay out of it as much as we can. Like, hey, if you're not coming to blows, she's not smacking you and throwing drinks in your face, and you're not smacking her and
that's
kicking
when you step in as a black person.
Yeah, right.
White person, but like, he's being mean to you.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. So I got to cuss people out left and right every time I see her.
Which is why you would try to back people up.
Yeah, because they would come over and speak to me on her behalf, and I'd be like, hey, that's what you don't do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to cuss you out, and I have to. That's all I know. I have to. I don't like people in my business.
How did you know when it was over?
How did I know when it was over? One time, I don't know, it's just a look she gave me one time. And I didn't feel no connection.
Okay. And you lost the connection when you got that look, and you were like, now it's done for me.
Yeah, I didn't feel no connection. Not saying that the war was over, but I'm just saying that the connection was over, which actually made it worse.
Which the love was lost?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was trying to piss me off all the time. That's just, and I get it. Now I look, after the fact, I get it. She was pissed at me. Half that shit she don't even remember.
Okay. So you get it. So that means you learned some stuff. So what did you learn from this relationship?
I learned that if you really love someone, during the hardest part of your relationship, you have to hold on like you're on a roller coaster.
And what was that part of the relationship that was the hardest part that if you held on?
I should have held on even when she was trying to retaliate against me.
Okay. All right. And
because I know she didn't mean it.
Okay. Because she was doing it because...
Right. She was hurt.
Because she was hurt.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Right. And that's just in general for relationships. I think you have to hold on during them times. And if you don't, that's fine, because everybody's not going to make it. But, at that time, I could have held on, just like she could have held on.
Okay. If you want it.
Yeah, if you want it. If you really want it.
But there was a point where you lost the love. She gave you the look where you're like, no, I don't want to hang on now.
Yep. She was done.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, she was done.
Anything else you learned from this that would be helpful for anybody to share or relate?
I would say don't be in a relationship unless your energy is in a place where you can hold on to a person, because it takes a lot of energy to do that, because relationships are going to have ups and downs, and things are going to go wrong, you're not going to be happy, and it's just like a marriage, So I would say that if you can hold on, hold on. But at the same time, if you can't hold on and it all falls apart, there's hope. There's millions of people in the world, and I'm happy right now because, you will find another person. So it kind of balances out all in there.
Okay. I'm looking for that balance.
Yeah.
All right.
And I learned that, to have balance. And now I'm better in a relationship because now I understand that balance.
Okay.
I understand.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you very much, David. I really appreciate the Relationship Ready Talks and sharing your story.
Thank you.
That relates. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like, and appreciate us. Throw some comments in there too. If you like what you're seeing, tell us what you want more of. If you don't, then tell us what you don't like. I'm Kevin Markman. Thank you for coming to Relationship Ready Talks.
That's dope.